good morning.
Oh.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Good morning, Ambush.
Good morning, Morgan Jones.
Good morning, Fiances.
Good morning, Fiances.
How are we today?
Oh, man.
Is tired.
Samesies.
I'm going to tell you right now. I got one of those fancy Apple Watches.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say I got it, I mean Ambush came home with it and gave me a present. And it was a present I didn't know I wanted. I don't wear watches.
Right.
However, I am tracking my sleep. And boy, oh boy, let me tell you.
Let me tell you that.
Let me tell you this about that. This is not an advertisement in any way. But if someone gives you one for free, wear it to bed. I'm finding out I don't sleep very much. And I'm awake a lot more than maybe one should be. And also, I just didn't realize I knew what the sleep cycles, like the names of them, but I didn't know. I feel like one of them changed also.
Yeah, what was the other? What's the other one with
core or something?
Yeah, what's core sleep?
I didn't know.
I didn't know about that.
But that's the bulk of the sleep I'm getting.
I thought we were shooting for REM. I thought REM was, the ideal.
That is not the ideal. That's not deep sleep. That is you're
playing around.
Your brain's moving too much.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not. But my point is.
This is a paid advertisement for.
It isn't.
Okay,
it is
fine.
Not.
All right, she's not being paid.
I promise. And it's not an ad. It's literally just my experience of. This has only been a few days. But I realized why I didn't want something like this.
Oh man. Okay.
And I told Tempo yesterday, I get too obsessive with the data. So, okay, now I can see how many things not just myself have done. I am now in competition with people that don't know they're in competition with me. And I gotta get these sleep numbers right, man. What am I gonna do? I'm awake too much. I'm not getting any of the deep. The deep is just completely away from me. It's eluding me in this moment, and I have no idea how you get it. Okay. And if I would have never done this, I would have never known. You know?
And now you are slapped in the face with this data.
With reality.
Yeah.
And you can't just run from it. Now you got to do something about it.
You can't just run from it. You know what? I love that attitude. I run from it. So it's really refreshing. You can't just run. You got to do something about it. I'm like, man, I wish I had that conviction, that response. When the data is something I don't want to engage with, I'm just like,
didn't read it.
Catch you later, bro. Later, Gator.
Yeah, I don't know who I get to blame for this.
I know.
Problem.
I know who it is.
Who's that?
It's the elite athlete, the ever competitive, the first one out the door, Nick Jones.
That is my faja. It does make sense. You're likely right.
Yeah.
But yeah, the seeing that you're not really sleeping, I mean, the hours are there.
Man.
And this is another goal I'm not meeting. I've set, I'm supposed to get 7 hours of sleep. So this watch says.
I've gotten 3.
LOL.
Wow.
Each night so far.
So I'm going to start sleeping with my watch now. I usually use the night to charge it, but these things are quick charging.
They charge really fast.
You charge really fast. So I definitely can find a point during the day when I could charge it, maybe at my desk. But I want this data.
But you just told me that you run from data.
It's
so
true,
I don't know.
But
You
I'm
maybe
curious,
don't want it. Are you going to do something about it?
I don't know about that. I may not.
That's up to me.
You know, watch going to tell me when to go to bed.
My choice.
It does have that feature though.
What?
Like if you set like your focus times and all that, and it'll tell you like, "Hey, time to go to bed, bro. Lay it on down."
I have a wind down situation. It tells me, "Hey, You chose bedtime at 11:15.
So don't make that my problem.
Why are you past that?
Wow.
I told you to wind down an hour ago. You decided against it. And now here we are at bedtime and you're looking stupid.
Now, I don't want to force this on you, but there also is the option along with that you can decide what apps it shuts. Like as part of your wind down, you can be like, hey, if you start your wind down at 10, at 11:30, you can be like, hey, I want these apps to shut down. I can't have access to Instagram or Candy Crush.
Excuse you.
Or you can have it do a hard stop at 11.
Take my joy.
To make sure you're in. Yeah, there's a lot of options, man.
I don't need that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Controlling
me. Jeez. You know, sheesh.
Slow down, Ambush.
I do have a grievance about the Candy Crush.
Not a grievance.
I do. I'd like to file a formal complaint. There's a thing it does. If it gives you an ad of like, there's a Candy Crush something coming, I don't know. It screams at you. Like, number one, it auto plays. And I understand an autoplay, you know, but what I think is beyond overreach and disrespect. I have all of the sounds on my phone off. How come I can hear you loud and clear?
Right.
A bell tower, if you will, screaming from the hills.
Listen.
And then have the nerve for the X to not work. Like, get me out of here.
I remember that voice when I first started playing Candy Crush, and it was very unnerving.
I never listened to it. Yeah.
Delicious. Yeah, I'm good on that, man. We did get a text already. Good morning to all the fiancés. Too much data to do something about all of it. But I appreciate your effort. Thank you, John.
John, good morning.
Good morning. But I appreciate your effort.
I mean, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to try and... I do know what I'm going to do with it. I'm working on it. And here's what I'm working on.
Okay.
The time blocking that I've brought into my life, which I know everybody listening right now is like, that's so many years old. We've been doing that. That's how I'm productive. Cool. You should have shared that with me a long time ago. You know, I can't know everything.
Just most. Okay. Something's going to slip through the cracks, bro.
Something's going to slip through the cracks. But now I'm on it. I'm going to tell you this about that. I'm getting stuff done.
She is.
I'm getting stuff done over here. There's no, here's a list of things I'm going to work on today.
Here's what I got done.
I really thought I was doing something too, Ambush, because I love
those checklists you do.
I love a checklist. I love the immediate, instant gratification of checking it off. Look what I got done.
She does handwritten checklists with little boxes to check them off, and it looks like so dope. And then I scribble stuff on paper and then put a line through it.
Yeah, that breaks my brain. Yep, because when he says that, he means it. It's not like it's on the line.
No.
Or, you know, it makes sense with anything else on the page. I don't know how you differentiate anything on there. Like, it's sideways, it's upside down.
I draw bubbles. I draw lines and bubbles to cut different sections off. And you're right. I noticed it. Not that I noticed it, but it popped up in my brain like 2 days ago. I was writing some stuff down and I'm like, if I use the lines of this paper, I probably can get a lot more from this sheet.
You know the science.
But I don't know why. Like, it's very strange. And now I'm drawing a line on a line. And
to make a straight line that I could have used. Yeah.
I was like, man, you got to figure that out. I could just be getting old and I need my writing to be bigger. I don't know. It might be.
Your writing, this has not been any different for the amount of time that we have, you know. And that's a lot of years.
Okay. In case anybody's wondering. Okay. All right. Well, I'm weird with paper, bro.
This is not anything we talked about.
Yeah.
But last night we were having dinner, Tempo and I.
Dinner was so good.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I had a pivot and it turned out decent.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're having dinner and she says, "When is your anniversary?" I love that you're laughing. because I did the same exact thing. And she was just like, the disgust.
What is so funny?
Why don't, and I was like, we don't really have one. Like, we picked a day at one point, and then I was like, oh, it's coming, it's April something.
April something.
And she was like, what? Why don't you care? And I was like, it's not that we don't care.
That's definitely not it.
It's definitely not it. But now I am reminded, when I was younger, my parents' anniversary was always a very big deal to me.
Right.
And never them. Right. They never did anything. It'd be like, oh, hey, happy anniversary. That's today, right?
What age were you when you stumbled upon their anniversary? Because they weren't celebrating it. So when did it hit you like, oh, this is the date, and you remembered it?
No, they didn't really celebrate it, but I knew it for some reason. Like,
you just knew it. Okay.
Well, I just don't remember why or what happened there. But I was definitely like middle school.
You were anniversary aware by middle school.
Yes.
Okay.
And then in high school, I really cared. I'd be like, oh, my parents' anniversary is coming.
Yeah.
They did not.
They did not. Flapjacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on their anniversary, I'd be like, happy anniversary.
And they're like, what?
Literally. The amount of times that they'd be like, oh, is that today? Hey.
Golly.
Love you, lady. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. I don't love this kind of love. And actually, yes, I do. It's working out just fine. Great. It makes so much more sense to me now as a person who's like, oh, right, anniversary.
Something else we gotta do a thing about.
You know, and so I told Tempo last night, like, you get busy. Like, it's just like, there's so much stuff to do. And there's so many things.
Yeah.
I know somebody's going to be listening to this and like, what kind of relationship do y'all have?
What do you guys do? I stumbled across my parents' anniversary because I found the knife they cut the cake with.
Oh, at their wedding.
Yeah. It was sterling silver. It was engraved in it.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. And I just stumbled out. And again, I think it was around maybe middle school. No, as a matter of fact, I'm confident it was middle school. And it was in the china cabinet or something, just moving some stuff around. And I opened the box and saw, I was like, whoa, this is nice. December 16th. And it was like, I would tell them, hey guys, your anniversary is December 16th. This is just me discovering it and being excited about it. Like, hey, your anniversary, it's coming up.
Coming up.
Could be like 5 months out, who knows? But for whatever reason, that date, you see how easy I just rattled it off?
Did you see my face when you said it?
Yeah, because I don't know dates at all.
Ambush doesn't know dates or ages. He could not, in this moment, gun to his head, tell you how old his parents are.
No, couldn't.
I think we're lucky that you know how old your siblings are.
Yeah.
But it's only because you can center it around yourself.
It's true. We're all 3 years apart. All the boys are 3 years apart. I can remember my dad's birthday because it's easy. It's a layup.
It
11/11.
But you have no idea what the year is.
No. I'm not buying gifts based on the year.
I mean, true, but not the point.
No, you're right. No, it's right.
I mean, I'm an only child, so I have known everything about my parents my entire life.
Oh my gosh.
The birthdays, when you graduated college, like I'm in all your business.
Yeah.
You said you had a boyfriend before. Tell me more, Mom.
Tell me more about this boyfriend, Mom.
Never heard of this guy.
Yeah.
Man, I had to be an awful child. Anyway, fiancés, how do you treat your anniversary? Is it a big deal? On Unrefined, we were talking about we meant to talk about how Valentine's Day just isn't like a thing for either of us.
Right.
And not in a way of like, I don't want to buy a present. It's really more like, why am I participating in this capitalistic holiday? This doesn't mean anything. I did, however, buy everybody a box of chocolates in the house because there was a reason to buy chocolates and they were delicious. So,
It made sense.
But other than that, it's like not a big deal to me, Ambush.
Yes, ma'am.
You're not paying attention to me.
I thought you were still asking our fiancés how they celebrate.
You would know I wasn't if you were paying attention to me. Ooh, bang.
See,
bang.
There we go.
I think now we need a music break because someone's got to get a talking to.
Someone's going to get a stern talking to.
Someone's going to get a stern talking to. What are we talking about today? We got some heat, as they say.
Yeah. This week we are unpacking and recognizing the grift. I love it.
I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. Unpacking and recognizing someone's grift. It really is. You'd think I would have learned how to become like an investigative journalist or something.
Oh, you are quite.
I'm not. I'm going to put it out there. I am not an investigative journalist. What I am is nosy and able to use those fingers on the internet. Get to work. And just in a, preliminary search, it was like, whoa. So anyway, in local news, we're going to talk about Mayor Ted Wheeler accepting a town hall invitation from a social media content creator that shames houseless citizens. One of the most amazing things you could do with your time.
And then national news, the social justice cosplay of Rachel Elizabeth Seidel.
That's sort of swap.
That's the name she had chosen. Who you is, though. I'm going to call you what your mama calls you.
Your mama named you Clay? I'm going to call you Clay.
Listen, look here.
Oh, we got another text.
What happened?
Morning, y'all. My parents' birthdays are a day apart in October.
Nice.
The amount of time I've mixed them.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay.
That is a nightmare.
I can see it. I can absolutely see it. Happy birthday, Dad. Oh. The mom.
Right. Happy birthday, Dad. Did you know it was Mom's birthday?
Did you know it was Mom's birthday? It's Mom's birthday.
Did you remember? God,
I will never forget, like, if you have a mom like my mom, shout out to Cher Bear. She's my fave. But she's very much like, gonna let you know, I didn't like the way that you handled that. I didn't like the way that happened. And I learned very quickly how to buy gifts for her and cards for, like, she's a person that loves cards.
Okay.
I'm a person that doesn't, because what do I do with it after the fact? Do I have to keep it? I feel like I have to keep it, but I don't want to keep it.
Yeah.
I'm not ever coming back to it. Also, I appreciate all of the words that are on here, but they're probably just going to make me cry. So I'm going to skim, maybe.
I don't know what to do
in front of people.
It feels disrespectful to throw them out, right?
It does.
Because someone's feelings were written down in a piece of paper, but now I've read it, and I'm probably not going to go back to read this again. But who knows? Maybe I might. So now it's in a shoebox.
You're
with
definitely
a bunch of cards.
not. I can tell you that. But yeah, it feels like you're not supposed to throw it away.
I did go back and read the cards from my high school graduation.
Interesting.
Once or twice.
That's cool. I did not.
I don't think I want to read them now.
I was like, do these cards have money in them? Okay, they were worthless. No, but my mom is the kind of person that would be like, oh, that's a gift.
Oh. Oh.
So you learned really quickly that, like, oh, that's not a gift for you.
That's a gift.
Got it. And one time when I left Portland, I did not get in the mail a Mother's Day card in time for her to get it by Mother's Day. And I had the card, it was on my list of, okay. And then when I'm on my way to work, I'll throw this at the post office. And she said, well, you'll do it when you care enough.
Wow.
And so I hope your parents, when you mixed up their birthdays in October, didn't try and gut you for the mistake that you made.
My word. Oh,
yeah, she stopped getting cards. I was like, you know what?
That's it.
I do, in fact, care a lot. And this $7 piece of paper is not the thing that's going to tell you. So, whatever, lady.
No. John says, my ex and current girlfriend have birthdays 2 days apart. Oh my. The amount of times I've messed that up. But should I share that inability to remember dates thing? John, my brother.
Okay, I don't know what to tell y'all. Use a calendar.
John, my brother. Yeah, the calendar's really cool. And I don't mean like,
friends.
I'm talking about the app on your phone. Like, dude, lock it all in there. There also is a birthday app
if you are a person who needs extra help there, then also write it down. Write it down. Put it in an app. Whatever you got. Listen, that's I am pretty easygoing, but if you wish me your ex-girlfriend's happy birthday,
if your current girlfriend knows when your ex-girlfriend's birthday is, because you have done this so many times, you need all the assistance you can.
Yeah, John,
tie a ribbon around your finger, put it in the calendar app, download the birthday app. Like, woo. It's tense.
Right before the music break, we were talking about, an ex and a current having similar birthdays and how to handle that. And I know that for me, that was I need to hear back.
Yeah.
And we did.
Yeah.
John said, we've been together 4 years now. I've got it under control, guys.
Good job. Good job, John.
I also told Ambush, maybe don't say his name next time. Yeah. That could have been a sticky situation.
Could have been tragic.
Yeah. We don't want to be in the middle of anybody's things.
No.
Not like that.
No, not at all. Whew. All right. Is we wrecked?
I mean, I definitely am, and I am. I'm hopping in.
Okay.
I'm going for the national story, and I have a lot of commentary. Sure. I don't. So I'll be.
You know what? If this is one of those stories where the commentary strikes you whilst reading, I'm all for it. Shout out to any homies in Philadelphia listening right now. Taib was good.
I don't know Fiancés, are you fine with commentary during the news? We'll see. All right.
They love your commentary as much as I do.
You let us know. For now, I'm just going to start reading social justice cosplay and ask one of our very favorite questions. Who is this for?
Who's it for?
Who is this for? Raquel Evita Saraswati was a well-known figure in Philadelphia's community and advocacy circles. She organized iftars during Ramadan for queer Muslims, participated in protests, including organizing a Jummah prayer at City Hall for George Floyd's murder, and was the chair for the Mayor's Commission on LGBT Affairs. Recently, she was appointed as the Chief Equity, Inclusion, and Culture Officer with the American Friends Service Committee.
Great work.
However, her colleagues at AFSC published an open letter saying that Saraswati, who had ambiguously presented herself as a woman of color, was actually a white woman of German and Italian descent.
I needed one of those burr, burr, burr buttons right there.
Yeah. Let's go back real quick. Raquel Evita Saraswati.
Yes.
Her birth name is Rachel Elizabeth Seidel, and she changed it to Raquel Evita Saraswati, which her colleagues at AFSC presume was to sound more diverse. Saraswati denied the allegations but resigned from her position. It was also revealed that she had previously participated in anti-Muslim dialogue on far-right platforms. The revelations raised questions about the vetting process for the Mayor's Commission and the shortcomings of diversity, equity, and inclusion work in white institutions. Her false stories, false identities, and false lived experiences followed her to build a significant amount of trust in marginalized communities, which led to a wave of trauma and deep betrayal between those who trusted her. Saraswati's resignation from her position in the American Friends Service Committee has raised questions about the effectiveness of diversity, equity, and inclusion practices in those organizations. Her history of participating in anti-Muslim dialogue on far-right platforms and presenting herself as a person of color has also brought attention to the issue of white individuals using false identities to gain access and legitimacy in marginalized groups. While Saraswati maintains that the information about her is inaccurate, her resignation has caused trauma and hurt among members of the local community who once trusted her as one of their own. People are questioning how someone with her background was able to become part of progressive movements and organizations. Abdul Ali Muhammad, a former friend of Saraswati's and a Philly-based writer and organizer, said that people are deeply hurt by her lies because many saw themselves reflected in the identities she claimed to have. The anonymous AFSC employees who investigated Saraswati did not respond to questions about what motivated their investigation. Sana Saeed, an Al Jazeera journalist who tweeted criticism of Saraswati in 2015, believes that the bigger story is how someone with her recent background was able to successfully become part of progressive movements and organizations despite her involvement with far-right and right-wing platforms. Saraswati's case highlights the need for more thorough vetting of applications for positions in progressive organizations and movements, as well as for continued efforts to address issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion in predominantly white spaces.
So I don't know if this has happened anywhere else, but this does, of course, remind me of another Rachel. What's with these sleeper cells? What's with these sleeper cells within Black organizations and organizations that are, well, positions that are meant to, tackle racism and deal with equity? What's this? Are we like? Is there like, I don't know? Is there like an organization of people, of white women that are deciding, okay, you're going to take that identity and you're going to head to Boston, and you're gonna take. There's an envelope over there on the way out. You take that and you're heading to Denver.
New identity, all the things in the envelope, passport, birth certificate, story.
I mean, you're picking up religious practices. You're going all the way in.
I don't know about sleeper cells. It kind of looks like it, but I'm not sure about that. Excuse me. What I do know is if you are doing DEI as a performance, as a company, as an organization, as a nation, I don't know, as a city,
right?
As a, if you're doing it as a performance, you're not going to vet folks because you don't know what you're looking for.
Right.
You're like, oh, a woman, that is diversity. I can't tell what this person's ethnicity is or racial makeup is. So diversity.
Right. And they're a light-skinned woman, so that works for me.
Hey, I mean,
racially ambiguous.
We're checking a bunch of boxes there.
Yeah.
Because, you're not threatening either because you're not too dark.
This is true. This is true.
Hey.
This is true.
As a person who has been considered racially ambiguous in times, as in called what did they call me? A hybrid of some sort.
Ooh.
In a diversity training.
No, okay, wait, run it back. What you're saying is, whilst in a diversity training, the person leading the training calls you a hybrid of some sort.
Indeed. Which at that time was a white man who was like in a room filled with white people and then me. No, shout out to Tammy. I'm pretty sure Tammy was in there too. And she also a hybrid of some sort, like we were both got a couple of things going. And he did not choose to use her as an example, though. He said, let's take Morgan here, for example, points to me. And I'm like, great, let's definitely not take me as an example.
Right.
And then says, she's definitely a hybrid of some sort.
Wow. Wow. Are we talking botanicals? What are we talking? Like,
I am a strain.
Yeah. A hybrid of some sort. Dang, son.
And electric vehicles at this time were not really a big deal.
Not yet.
Funny enough, that was my very first diversity training as with a big girl job, and was like, wow, that is what they're doing out here? That's crazy.
God, those hybrids.
Now I feel like I should have sued, but anyway.
Yeah.
I say that to say, if it's a performance, which that was, right? Like that was, you're having somebody come in and tell you not to do the thing you just did and didn't recognize you just did the thing that you're telling people not to do.
Right.
And that's because that's not your experience. And as much as people who want and are well-meaning and want this, information to get out and want people to treat people based on them being humans and not any of the other factors, which is a whole can of worms on its own, friends.
Yeah.
Let's not have to hide our identities in order to be respected. But if you don't have a lived experience of somebody who is marginalized, why are you the person that you think should be telling people how not to marginalize people, right?
Yeah.
And how to treat people with not just equality, but equity.
Right.
And we're not in any way, not one organization that you can think of that has, a chief DEI officer or whatever is achieving those goals.
Right.
And the reason why is the goals really are just for a different reason. So there's a lot of, nonprofit organizations that need to get funding.
Right.
And there's time, there are moments when funders recognize that, oh man, all this money is going to white large organizations. Maybe we should be taking a look at who works there.
Yeah.
Maybe who's on your board, who's in leadership.
Yeah.
And so if the reason that you're doing the DEI is because you didn't get grants that you used to, that's called a performance. You're not here to actually change the culture of your institution, change your own understanding and, empathy and feelings about marginalized people. You're not looking to change the way that they are treated. It's just a performance. This woman putting on a head wrap and then being all in people's faces, pretending to be Muslim, pretending to be queer, pretending to be racially ambiguous.
Rach, what are we doing?
This is the kind of thing that, I have goosebumps right now because I'm infuriated.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm so infuriated is these are women who do not ever get any of the ire, right? That those identities get. Because they get to not care because they are not those identities. So they get to pretend to be upset. It's a performance. They get to go home and wipe the tanner off. There is no, she can be Rachel at the library if she wants to, or she can be Raquel. And we don't get that. Black women, people of color, do not in any way get to take it off.
Right.
And for anybody listening, I don't just mean black women. When I say black women, all of the peoples.
Yeah.
Nobody gets it. We don't get to take that off. And then we are the ones who get the conversations about weaponizing our identities. And it's like, I'm looking at a white woman pretending to not be a white woman in a position of power,
right?
That is supposed to be about equity and inclusion, and she's faking it.
I really want to understand.
And I weaponize my identity?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I know. I really want to understand, the psyche. What is happening in that mind where one day you wake up and you're like, you know what? In order for things to move forward for me in my life, the way I would like them to be, I'm going to pretend to be someone else. And I'm going to live in this identity. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. I am now, from this day, moving forward, Raquel.
It did not say it in the story, but her mom, much like the other Rachel, was like, I don't know why she's doing this. I don't know what this is about. She's German and Italian. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you guys. Yeah. I know what I am. I know what her dad is.
Right. And the Rachels, they stick to it. They're like, listen,
I don't even know those white people. That's literally what the Rachels say. Yeah. The Rachels are like, never heard of them.
Yeah.
What? Rachel Dolezal, friends, let's do this one. The Crown Act was just passed. I don't remember which state this was in. So apologies for that. But the Crown Act was needed, was started, was organized because Black women and Black men, but specifically Black women, are policed about our hair.
Yep.
And the way that our hair grows out of our head in perpetuity. I mean, it's like it doesn't matter what stage in your life you're in. You are worried. You are made aware very early that the way that your hair grows naturally is probably not great and is probably not going to be okay moving forward.
Yeah. People
won't take you seriously. You won't seem professional. You don't even look like a smart student all of a sudden, you know? But in professional settings, you can be not hired for having locks. You could be completely discriminated against because you don't straighten your hair. And which is really interesting too, because right now we are looking at the link between uterine cancer and hair straighteners. And boy, oh boy. Oh, wow. Boy, oh boy. If that isn't some wild stuff.
Right.
Anyway, so the Crown Act gets passed, and it is literally a protection against discrimination for the way that your hair grows out of your head. And whomst Ambush was there front and center. Front and center.
With the perm pro? What did she do? What did her edges look like?
Rachel Dolezal. Oh, well, you know, she has a YouTube channel where she shows people how to install crochet Black hairstyles, natural hairstyles. So laid, I guess, is the word that we would use. Why is Rachel Dolezal there? What is she doing? She is literally putting her hair in 4 French braids and then putting fake black hair into, like, fam? And again, this is hair that we have been castigated for.
Right.
Like, and you get to take it out and just be like, oh, anyway.
Let my hair down.
What is she there for? And yes, I'm incredibly upset with every single Black woman that's in a picture with her.
I mean,
I'm incredibly upset with any Black person that was involved in that situation that knew she was going to be there. No, absolutely not. The infiltration stops now.
Yes. You don't feel like this is delegitimizing your work?
Fam.
You got like, nah. No. The answer is no.
The answer is no.
I can't imagine how any of our fellow Philadelphians are feeling. People that are out here doing the work when they see something like this pop up. Like,
you know what kills me real quick? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
The amount of people that we know in Philadelphia that do this work, that have been doing this work, people that have been doing this work that are not ever going to be in that particular position of power, that chief, officer of equity and inclusion.
You're at the mayor's office.
We don't even get those titles. And I'm sorry, I'm so sorry that I interrupted you. But I do have just one more point that 2020, what I believe most of the world, at least right now, calls a racial reckoning in this country. I said this to you last night. 2 baby steps forward, and they're going to take it back in blood. Like they do not, that none of those things, actually move the needle, because the needle is not wanting to, like, they don't want the needle to move. So
no,
there's not at all of a sudden, 2020 and George Floyd and 100 days of protests, and we're going to recognize this and we're going to pay attention and look at the disparities. All of a sudden, a bunch of organizations out here are like hiring for DEI people, right? It means absolutely zero if you are not actually on board with changing the culture of whatever your organization is. Period. If your leadership style does not include inclusion, you can have however many different outside organizations come in, make assessments, give you, a plan, tell you how to become anti-racist. If you just skip ahead and say, I'm an anti-racist organization now, come work here.
Take a look.
Take a look
inside.
You lose all of the people of color that come through that door that you do hire. You lose them because you are not an anti-racist organization, right? Number one. Number two, where are all those Black people that were DEI, directors of DEI all over this city, and others, where are they now? Those positions are either gone or there is a white person filling it.
They're back in the mailroom.
And I'm going to, seriously, for years, there has been the meme of what diversity and inclusion means at corporations is just mostly white men, a couple of white women, a Black guy, a Black woman. But on the hierarchy, it's looking very much like white men. Mm-hmm. But if you get a white lady up there at the top, yay, we made it.
Look what we've done. Yeah, earlier when I was I wonder, what they're doing, how this is hitting them back home. I've been away too long. I totally forgot. I know exactly how this hit back home. It's just such and such, Rachel. Oh, yeah, that's crazy. That's wild. And that's it, because they don't have time.
Yeah,
we're doing the work, so we don't have time to discuss how y'all let this person in. You. And now you want to have conversation. Isn't this what we? Hey, I'm over here working. That's on you. That was very clearly an issue, and okay, y'all solved that.
A shout out to the Al Jazeera reporter too, because she in 2015, thank you Twitter, was saying, hey, that's a white woman.
There's some problems here.
There's some problems here. Not only is that a white woman, that white woman has been involved in far right propaganda. She has been involved in forums where they're talking about violence. This is how'd we get here?
Right. How y'all let this happen?
And when you talk about the mayor's office, and there is this false level of there it is. Some sort of meritocracy, you got to be good at what you're doing to work for the mayor. One. But you don't even have to be good to be the mayor. No. So one. Two, there's this idea that if you have chosen to do this work, that you care about it.
Okay.
And that's not real either. Yeah. Just like, back to the mayor, you think if you want to do a campaign and run and open up your life to all of this, scrutiny, you got to want to do something about that. You don't run for mayor to just
I won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to want the idea, the thought, what we assume here is if you are running for government, a governmental position, or you want to be an equity and inclusion officer, it's because you want to make a difference for people, not corporations. And then we're just wrong again.
Yeah.
We're just wrong again. Because sometimes you just want to be the mayor so that you can raise your Tinder profile. Write it down. I'm the segue queen. Play a song, come back, and we'll talk about Teddy and his Tinder.
Teddy Tinder. I thought you were going to say there was this expectation with the pinnacle, okay, with governmental positions, that there's a level of vetting. I thought that was what you were going to. I mean,
that too. Yeah. I mean, there's this idea that it's professional. That one, the people want to do it.
Yeah.
And two, that we're I mean, how many times have you heard that person couldn't run because of their past or whatever? Right. Well, Donald Trump. But also every single other person out here that becomes the thing first, and then George Santos, we hear everything after the fact. Like that. So what is really frustrating there is for a position at a company where you are literally in charge of zero, they will do a background check.
Bruh.
They will check every single piece of your social media.
Yeah.
They do more vetting for you to work in a position that does not even come in contact with people.
Right. And here you are in leadership.
Or you are more than just leadership. You have been voted in to a position of power. And somehow we all just missed those things. Like those things just weren't available at that time. Nah, the information was there. What happens is people hide that information on purpose. And I don't even necessarily mean the people that are looking for those jobs or positions. But somebody makes sure that you don't know about so-and-so's sex addiction, so that they can be, the prop up for the Christian nationalists.
Jeez. Who? The person who was supposed to do the vetting. I'm always trying to drill down. Who's that person? What's your name? You have failed.
Doesn't matter because that person never loses their job.
Ever. The accountability whence? Rudo popped up.
That might have something to do with the fact that it's all performance. But anyway.
Rudo popped up. Said, I'm listening to X-Ray FM in Oregon. Morning, fam. Rudo, it's magic.
Oh, look, Rudo. Come through.
He also said Morgan gets great mileage.
Indeed I do. Or did, or don't. I don't know. I think I did. I am a hybrid of some sort.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing that's cold-blooded is he's right. But also...
language,
so
bro.
Wrong.
Language, bro.
So wrong. And so maybe if anybody takes anything from the conversation that we're having right now, if you are in fact a DEI trainer out here.
Yeah.
And you're going around and you're talking to groups of people and you're trying to make sure that they understand that everybody's a person and you don't have to peg them or have your prejudices or stereotypes up front.
Mm-hmm.
And once you do, you check them and you move forward. If you're doing that work, maybe don't call people out in the audience if you certainly cannot on your own. Either ask those people, one, would you be down to participate in this?
Right.
Great. So in order to participate, can you let me know what your racial makeup is so that I don't mess this up? Because that's part of why we're here, right?
Missed the golden opportunity there.
Yo. And instead went directly to... Oh, we got another text. Sorry, I got distracted. Sorry, friend. It says, well, I mean, are they failing? This is also my question. No, because they're doing their job right. Or is their job something strangely consistent with having the people in power be people who can gesture at inclusion and justice while actually just strengthening the status quo? Ding, ding, ding.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And it's something that I have to remind myself of all the time because it is not my first thought that we're all, that folks are just doing, like, I couldn't just do that job. Right. And so if there's a job that you're like, it's just my job. I just go to work and I just do it.
Clock in, clock out.
I just clock in, I clock out. Cool. That's not a job I could just do. If we're just lying all day, if we're just literally lying all day long, I got a problem with that. Because we're not like acting, right? Like it's not like you get to call this is a different kind of performance.
Yeah.
And I can't get jiggy. I am not a fan. And it makes my brain break a lot because I'm like, who is this for? Oh, right. That is actually their job. They are in fact doing their job because the job is to not, it's not what we're told the job is. Shout out to the police.
Right.
Like we keep wondering why, so many politicians say one thing and do another, and we're like, just do your job. And it's like,
doing it
and doing it well.
That same person said, and the people who are genuine about it are turning over at very high rates.
Exactly.
Cranking them out, grinding them up. throwing them back out in the street. Yeah.
Again, really fast, when I was trying to do some equity work in the way of working with small business owners in this city, one of the things that a lot of those white people asked me was like, how do I retain the staff? Like, I can hire Black people, but how do I retain them?
Right.
And it's such a immediate, easy answer for me. And that is, you have to make your work environment not feel like it's choking them out.
Yeah.
And if you are just going to say, we like Black people here. Mm-hmm. Or what's the what is the employment? Equal opportunity. It's like, well, we're equal opportunity. Equal opportunity in that instance is not what you think it is.
No, it's not.
And getting me to do an interview and get hired, all to come into this environment that is
mad hostile,
very hostile, is a gaslight I don't need.
Right.
Right. Nobody needs that.
It's a shame that they need to be led to water to understand, if you want to make your work environment, if you want to take the racism out, you want to make this a pleasant work environment for everyone, you could try to listen to them. Like, to come up with these, right. I've gone through the training, so now I better know what to do. I am equipped with the changes that need. If you come through the training and you still haven't been given the understanding that all you need to do is close your mouth and open your ear to the groups that
you're saying you care and want to uplift.
Yeah.
And highlight because you inspire us.
It's a layup, bro. It's a layup, like, straight up. You know, I don't know how many fans of the cult classic Amazing film other guys are out there, but I feel like there's an opportunity there for that DEI trainer to just refer to you as a biracial angel. And
I mean, they could have.
Derek
I would have liked
Jeter,
that more.
Biracial angel.
I would have liked that more
than hybrid, I'm sure.
Well, I am a biracial angel. So maybe it just would have been too accurate. Okay.
I get it. He was looking for a challenge. Cool.
We got one more text before you go to the musics. Traditionally, for public positions, it's the voice of the people who do the public office vetting, aka the media.
Boom.
However, the major media is now fully owned by white privilege, and they simply don't work for the people anymore. Talk to them.
Listen,
I like owned by white privilege. That's an interesting way to say it.
Yeah.
It's a good way to say corporate interest.
We is back. News of my fiance, Morgan Jones, DJ Ambush. Shoot us a text, 971-220-5979. What were you about to say?
Shoot us a text. I was going to try and step on it, but I couldn't get it out. Does that ever... It just didn't happen.
Speaking of text, I got a text from my big bro, mentor, Tae, back in Philly. DEI is designed to make white people look or feel better. It is not a liberation format.
Shout out to Tae.
Young Yeeb.
There's nothing really to say. That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
That's it.
But I do want folks to be paying attention to, like, where all of those, all of the organizations and companies that were touting, their DEI initiatives, and look at our, director of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Right.
And putting, pictures of Black people on their websites, and go back and look.
That's the nasty work to me.
Just go back and look.
Those website images change. That's just the nastiest. Like, you just went and got some stock photos.
Yeah.
You asked all your Black employees to show up that day. You got a photographer on site. You want to really capture.
We want to get everybody's good side.
Yeah. to capture the family that we have here.
Oof.
What's your name again?
Stop talking to me at the pizza party. How about that? Pay me more money. Leave me alone.
We're unpacking grifts today. They come in so many different shapes, forms, and fashions.
Sizes.
Yeah. Grifting birds of a feather flock together. You may have heard about the town hall in Montevilla over the weekend. We're going to give you some, background information on that. But there's a little bit more. On Saturday afternoon, residents of the Montevilla neighborhood in northeast Portland held a town hall meeting at the East Side Church of Christ to discuss proposed sanctioned camping sites. Mayor Wheeler was invited to attend the meeting and answer questions from the audience. He spoke about the city's plan for the sanctioned sites and how they would look. He also mentioned that the city and county are actively trying to resolve the issues facing Portland, but it seems to be getting worse. He further stated that it would be good for the community to be involved in a decision-making process to make decisions that are good for everyone who lives there. I want to pause there and say something. I'm going to finish the story, though. The Montevilla neighborhood has 3 potential alternative shelter sites, that have either been looked at or purchased by the city or Multnomah County. Volunteers of America's site at 8815 North Gleason Street was under construction, but it is no longer under consideration by the city. 2 other sites along Southeast 82nd Avenue, owned by Multnomah County, are turning into safe park sites. The county announced that one site will be turned into a safe park site, while the other site is currently occupied by Quality RVs and operating business as usual. Now, the safe park sites, I found this out last night, are literally the name. Like these are sites where people can park people that are living in their cars, living in their vehicles. They can go to these sites and park their cars there. And instead of like them paying to put a structure, you can pull your car in, and I guess everyone had designated spots there.
Okay.
At the meeting, the audience listened to the mayor speak on stage and asked him questions that had been written by attendees and asked by a moderator. He talked about the city's plan for sanctioned sites and how he's feeling more optimistic that the city, state, and county will work better together now that there has been new leadership elected. The audience also asked the mayor why cities seem to look at areas of town that are considered more low income than others. The mayor admitted that was a fair criticism and stated that the proposed sites would have to be geographically diverse. He also mentioned that there's a location being considered that would be considered the opposite of what the audience had described. One site.
So what? Beaverton?
Where you putting it? Where you putting it, B?
Oh, way.
One site has already been confirmed by the city earlier this month. The mayor announced that the city was in talks to sign a lease for the vacant lot at Southeast Powell Boulevard and the 13th Ave. The site would house up to 100 tents and hold 150 people, giving them access to multiple health services and other resources that unsanctioned sites would not offer. The California nonprofit Urban Alchemy will manage the site. So, for you to say it's important that the community have a voice, so that way the decisions that are being made are ones that the community are in favor of and reflect and addresses all their concerns. But you're not talking to the community. You're talking at the community. These town halls are very interesting, whether they're online, in person, whether it's a city council meeting, where they're talking to us. And people are being very clear in their disagreement with these decisions. The fact that Urban Alchemy has the contract means you're not listening to people.
The fact that Urban Alchemy has the contract, to me, proves that this is a coordinated effort.
Right.
A coordinated effort of poverty pimping. That's what this is.
Right.
You are not here to change anything. You are not here to make sure that people get housed. You are a coordinated effort to steal funding from people that absolutely need resources.
Right.
So that we can keep them poor and keep some dirtbag who decided they would come up with the Urban Alchemy business model.
Right.
They're in cahoots.
cahoodling.
It's a cahoodling.
It's a cahoodlation.
It's a cahoodlation in this dancery. Why are you like it? But that's proof to me. If you are dealing with Urban Alchemy, who Google it right now.
Yeah.
Again, go back to that idea of vetting, right? Like, we think that there's somebody somewhere doing some research about, and not their own research like that, not doing my own research, but they're doing, research, but are researching the companies that are putting in these RFPs or whatever, is it really, and I don't know why, again, I these are the moments where I have to check myself, because why do I think that? I think that because I have been held to those standards.
Right.
But I have no reason to believe that they are being held to those standards, because they're not. But if you just Google Urban Alchemy, put it into your YouTubes and see the videos that come up, right? Like, it's not this is not, you don't have to be a hard-hitting investigative journalist to understand that there are so many complaints about this group of straight up harassment and violence that they inflict on houseless folks and poor folks in general. And this is how you want to spend the money? And every single taxpayer that's like, get these people out of my face. Why do you not want it to be a permanent out of your face? Why do you want it to be this temporary situation where they're going to be right back in your face in 2 years?
Right.
Why does it hurt you that those same tax dollars that they continue to waste all in your face and get you to agree with it? Why is it okay that they waste that money instead of making sure that people have the resources that they need? The money is here. And we need to quit acting like we don't have the money as a nation, as a city, as a state. The money is here. The amount of money they waste just to do poverty pimping, just to do, like, somebody's getting rich off of this. Why are you good with that?
Listen, John just said, preach. This is so disgusting. It would be better to spend this amount of money literally any other way.
And literally any other way. John, any other way. You know what? Give dogs lemonade.
Put lights back in the park.
Okay, first of all, let's not get me started on the
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
I'll just breathe it out. Breathe it out. I'm gonna go back
deep stretch, overhead stretch.
Be mindful.
Breathe it out.
The fact that they're such a stupid city government style thing to do. Oh no. We better take every single light post out. That's not gonna make it weird in the middle of the night in parks. That's not going to make
safety is supposedly it's an issue.
That's not going to be presenting any sort of problem or creating an opportunity for something wild to happen. Nah, not at all. And then, I don't know, we've got a little bit of money to put stuff back, but not a lot. And so it's going to be a while, guys.
Yeah. I hate this cycle of we have an issue. We're looking for a solution. Here's what we found. And then the public responds and says, no. Here's what we know about the things that you found. This is not a solution. And then government moves forward saying, yes, we've awarded this contract to these people that we didn't do much research on. It was the first thing that came up in our Ask Jeeves search. And then, and now we're going to pay them an exorbitant amount of money to solve this issue. Bam. And then the things that we knew were going to happen because this organization or this company's track record, these things just start falling out of the sky. And now there's lawsuits and now there's investigations and now people are getting arrested. And then the city says, this initiative failed and it's not our fault. And we got to make sure we hold our vendors accountable. What are you doing? You are not fooling anyone, and it is annoying AF.
They fooling some folks.
Well, it's true.
Much like when, Tevis goes at the town hall and says, Measure 110 meant to do well. And I know that people that voted for it thought it would do well. But it's just not working. It's 2 years in and you just gotta, when do we give it up?
Wow.
And then you got, Angela Todd, who is the griftiest of grifters, out here like, yeah. If you ever decide to spend your day, your time, your way to get influence is to be a person that runs an Instagram account that shames poor people, that is based in humiliation, not change, not help, not I want these people to. No, you literally are here to humiliate people, and that gets clicks. Mm-hmm. But Ambush, I honestly believe that there is again just a moneyed interest here.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
She went from having 400 followers in the help us support Portland or whatever to you have a large Instagram following where you humiliate poor people,
houseless people, you humiliate them, you dox
and try
them.
to base policy off of humiliation. Portland looks bad. That's where you sit. You're on, like, anybody who's on the surface talking about, I can't understand why you would steal food. Like, you don't get to be a part of the conversation.
No.
You absolutely do not get to. Yeah. Because you're not qualified. Not because I don't want to hear from you, but you're not qualified. Right. If you're not willing to read a book, if you're not willing to stop listening to Lars Larson, you don't get to talk to me about it.
Right.
And her in particular, like, thankfully, she didn't ever win and was disqualified from running as a candidate for the Oregon House Representative. Fam, know who these people are, because if the media is not going to tell you, you do it for yourself.
And they aren't. They refer to her as a
business owner
and a community reporter that runs
what?
Community reporter that runs the page. I'm not going to give the page.
Yeah,
out.
We're not doing that.
Yeah, but community
reporter. That sounds like that sounds like a self-given title right there.
What you aren't is Alex Zelinsky. That's what I'll tell you.
Ooh,
that's a reporter. That's a reporter's
bang,
reporter.
Bang.
like, come on.
Community reporter.
She literally shames poor and houseless people. Literally builds clicks off of that. Has purchased followers.
The bot.
The account.
The bot army is strong.
Right. And this is someone that the mayor said, you know what? I do need to have an audience with. Thank you for pulling this together. I do not need to have audience with you. Let's do that.
It's just at what point? This is the group of people, the Angela Todds of them all, who, go on Fox and talk all sorts of mess about Portland, but don't know nothing about why we're actually in the situation we're in,
right.
Or who think that it's super unique that this is happening in Portland and it's all the, what are the progressive policies of Portland have ruined it.
And the DA.
Show me where they are.
Right.
Show me what. Ted Wheeler said the state isn't giving us money to
address these issues.
But specifically Measure 110. There was supposed to be addiction services within this, and we just didn't get the money, so we just gonna have to move forward. Here's the thing. Ted Wheeler has wasted so much of your money that he shouldn't even be looking to the state for anything else.
Right.
And you shouldn't be letting him look to the state for anything else. What we do know is that these policies get purposely underfunded so that they fail.
Right.
It is a sabotage effort. And then for you to come through and be like, well, it's been 2 years, can't do this anymore. Has it actually been in action the way that we voted for it for 2 years?
Has it been 2 years of implementation?
Because no,
it hasn't.
And that's what continues to happen is, I know that I remember in business, it was like, if you're going to do some humongous changes in your business, you have to have at least a 3-year arc. If it's failing in those 2 years, you gotta ride that wave, buddy.
Yeah.
You gotta see it through.
Instead, you're rallying people against it.
You're rallying people against it so that you can lock poor people up more. You do not need more reasons for that. And you know the reason why? We don't have the money for that.
Right.
Why are you okay with the money being spent on housing people in jail instead of housing people where they can start to live a life again? Like, that makes absolutely zero sense.
Yeah. We got a text that said, seriously, they're saying we could just give people $34,000 a year. But nah, we'll just give it to a so-called nonprofit.
Hello? Why would we spend the money the way that it makes the most sense?
Right. Another text, a company that makes a profit from houseless people has a vested interest in, 1, keeping people houseless, and 2, increasing the number of houseless people.
Yes.
That is the core principle of capitalism.
Boom. That's it. That's it. And in order for capitalism to continue to go the way that it's going, you have to be okay with people dying.
Yeah.
So that other people get money.
Yeah. Yeah. Straight up.
Flat out.
Straight up.
I'm not good with it. I'm not ever going to be good with it. It doesn't matter if all of a sudden all the money is lining my pockets. Not even a little bit. Am I okay with the fix for poverty being jail? Or the only reason you care about poverty in the moment is because it's ugly to you and it's a blight.
Right.
And when you're driving, when you get off the freeway, you can't believe, they used to just ask you for $1. Now it's just lined with tents. Fam?
Check your privilege, bro.
Yo. And also pay attention to who these people are and pay attention to where they live and pay attention to the news that they share and how they share it. Like, here we are, Portland, Oregon, going through some things.
Yeah.
Check the rest of the nation, would you please? It's not just us, number one. Also, before our time is up, I just want to say, with the idea of paying attention to the news and how you get it and all those things, and what was the point of that story? Ask yourself that, because the headline I saw this week was Cracker Barrel is closing all of its Portland metro area restaurants.
Uh-huh.
Now, Ambush, you are not from here. So Portland metro area could mean a few things to you.
Okay.
What Portland metro area means is surrounding, cities.
Right.
Somehow people forget that, those are other cities. It's not just like a suburb. It's like, they have their own city government over there. Anyway, Portland proper does not have a Cracker Barrel. Portland proper, where all of you guys are that want to change the world with get these people off the streets and put them in an encampment. They didn't mess up your Cracker Barrel because it wasn't over here.
Because you ain't have one.
This isn't Tualatin. This isn't Tiger. This isn't Beaverton. This is not none of those. And so why is that the headline? It's misleading.
Yeah.
At best, if I'm being generous, it's misleading. But a person like Angela Todd then runs with that. Where are we going to get all of our... How do I get my biscuits?
How do you get my country biscuits?
Quit eating the Cracker Barrel, period. But that ain't... We're going to get that. But seriously, a Cracker Barrel is closing, and number one, that's news. And number two... It's not here. And you cannot blame that on any of the things happening in this city, which is what you're doing.
You can't blame it on our DA?
Well,
our progressive DA?
Because
of him, no longer getting my biscuits.
Well, if he would just, actually prosecute.
And put people in these empty prison beds.
Yeah.
Come on, get on it.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
We're in bad shape. We're in bad shape.
Someone says about those addiction services, we're supposed to have a third of the weed tax. Pay for those. Weed has been legal for years, and I buy my fair share. Where the heck are the addiction services?
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering where that money is.
Where they at, though?
Wasn't there a humongo kicker happening? State kicker. Where if you make a bunch of money, you getting a big old kicker.
Yeah.
Where is the weed money?
We're gonna find out, and we're not gonna be
maybe
pleased.
it got put into the timber industry or something. I don't know. Like maybe it's one of the homies, over at Urban Alchemy or
Urban Alchemy is running it. Yeah, it's a thing. We're in a place.
Pay attention to those moneyed interests, friends. Somebody bought a lot of followers. Somebody bought a lot of influence. And it is legitimately to keep people destitute.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that they can continue to make fun of the destitution.
Yeah. When you see those accounts with thousands upon thousands of followers, your immediate response and reaction is like, wow, this person may have a lot of influence. A lot of people agree with these sentiments here. But then I beg of you, peek down in the comments. See what's actually happening down there. See if that's bot activity. See if it reflects the actual true follower count. We were able to start deciphering this about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
When
musicians
were buying bots to falsify their followings and their plays and all of that. And now we see it much later being used in politics with these types of accounts. And it is very unfortunate the news would refer to her as a community reporter.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate. You're legitimizing this person.
Legitimizing that person and what they are, the platform that they have created.
Yeah.
As news, as it's real. Like
right.
it's not real in that way, like you are farming content where you are asking people to go out and be awful human beings.
Yep.
In order to humiliate people that you, I guess, think are awful human beings. Like there's a moral failure attached to the fact that they don't have money. What does it say about you out here recording people in their worst moments? Like, just doing drugs on the side of the street. When, listen, again, I say, every single one of you that goes camping and it's a whole situation.
Right.
We're not, a soul is sober.
No one's sober.
Everybody chooses to do something to sleep on the ground, right? Now, you don't understand it. Get out of my face.
This was News of My Fiance. Today's show was made possible by Morgan Jones and DJ Ambush and our podcast editor, Kyle G. Shout out to everybody that texted. The text lines were active this morning.
Real
Thank you guys so much. Love it. Remember, man, poverty is a policy choice. People over profits. Power to the people. None of us are free until we're all free.
Real quick, pay attention to those systems, not those people.
Yes. Thanks for listening and
bye.